Good morning and welcome to this week's episode of the Last Night's Game podcast. I'm your host, Amy Butchon Siegfried, and I'm joined today by my favorite co-host and my favorite brother, who I don't have to worry about awkward family conversations around the Thanksgiving table with. Scott. Scott, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me on. This week's podcast is going to give you all the conversation starters you need to avoid those awkward conversations that will inevitably happen. If you're not going to avoid them, you can shift very easily to something more lighthearted and sporty
Yeah, I
and
think
save the day, basically.
I mean, how many times you and I have definitely sat at the dinner table before with people in our family who decide to talk politics. And you and I and dad always sit at the same end of the table where we get to kind of like hide and just talk to each other.
Mhm.
And sometimes you don't have that opportunity. So these are great. Our whole goal out of today's podcast is to give you other stuff to change the topic from. Because we've all been asked those questions of like, why aren't you married? This like all of those questions that we should never ask people. If you're listening to
Mhm.
this, don't ask people that.
No.
Um, and so you could be like my father-in-law, just ask people, how's your love life? Also not really a great lead into the conversation. And always gets awkward answers.
But
But that's our whole goal today is to give you
yes.
topics to talk about, to change the subject, and bring it to something a little more conversational for everyone, a little more enjoyable. So Scott, I'm going to start off right up front with, if you're going to fire up grandma this week, what are you going to talk about?
Tattoos and fingernail paint on men.
Okay. Dive into this, please.
Grandma's surely going to get fired up about this one.
Yeah.
We'll start with the tattoos. We obviously a lot of the athletes playing on Thanksgiving will have tattoos prominently featured, but we're also going to have some musical performers that are heavily tattooed with face tattoos and full body tattoos, like Post Malone, who will be
Okay.
playing the Cowboys Chiefs game, and he's known for his facial tattoos and just full body artwork,
Mhm.
which grandma, probably might get fired up about.
Grandma's probably he's gonna likely, because he's playing in Dallas and he's kind of gone with that
Yes,
country vibe lately. So I think
yes,
he'll be like, his music is much more approachable for grandma
it
than probably
is.
like a J-Lo halftime. And so I think there's that.
I mean, if Post Malone wants to pull out some J-Lo moves, that would be a real shocker.
Now we've got it figured
Now we've
out.
got it.
That's how you drive ratings.
There you go. Get him shaking his butt up there.
His tattooed butt,
Is
probably.
that probably most likely yes.
Most likely. So we have Post Malone playing the Cowboys game. They are playing the Kansas City Chiefs, who are not having that great of a season this year. So that will be an interesting game. But then we also have, gosh, who else am I missing here? Little John is playing as well. But then we have Jack White playing the Lions and Packers game.
And his tattoos, if he may or may not have them, according to the internet, they will be covered up, most likely. So grandma won't have to worry about that. So it's safe.
Because it's going to be cold.
Well, technically it's cold outside, but thankfully the Lions do play inside.
That's true, good point. So I also read that, well, I read that he has used, like, he has tattoos, but
Mhm.
he used just fake tattoos in some of his music videos, Jack White, so there's that, and you may
Wow.
best know him from the sports anthem Seven Nation Army, which you've heard a million times.
Yes.
He's in the White Stripes, but I did see that Eminem, who is from Detroit,
Mhm.
he's gonna serve as the executive producer of the halftime show.
So he probably executive produced himself into the halftime show, I would
It
assume.
let's hope, dare to dream.
And every Detroit native will enjoy it.
I think it will be, quite the show. I mean, that will be one to watch. I mean, remember last year was that last year that Dolly Parton did the Dallas Cowboys game?
It
She
was
dressed up
either
like a
last
Cowboys
year,
cheerleader?
it was one of the years recently. And
There's
she went full Cowboys cheerleader outfit, which will
so
probably not be topped by Jack White or Post Malone if they wear that,
so
or
disappointing.
Lil Jon.
I mean, if all of them wore, that'd be fantastic. But yes, she wore, in all her glory, she wore a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader outfit, and she was
Mhm.
phenomenal, and it's Dolly, she can do whatever she wants.
She
But of
can.
course, people gave her a really hard time. Of course, as the internet does, they're mean.
Mhm.
And my favorite video from this is Chelsea Handler, the comedian,
Mhm.
got on and took some of the comments, and she was like, "Who the F are you? Do you know who the F Dolly Parton is? Here's all the things she's done." And she was like, she saves eagles. Like, she funded some, like, eagle saving project, and she was like, "That's American, like, you POS are not." Like, she went through this whole thing of, like, all the things that Dolly Parton does, gives books to children, and that's American. Like, it
Mhm.
was this phenomenal video of, like, Chelsea Handler standing up for Dolly and talking about Dolly Parton doesn't talk a lot about what she does.
Mhm.
Like, talking about all the phenomenal things that she, like, helped fund, I think, the COVID vaccine and all this other stuff that she has done, and Chelsea Handler was like, "Look, you internet trolls,
Don't come
beyond
at our
gone with
queen.
you. Don't yeah, do not come at our queen at 100%." So, one of the questions that we kind of already alluded to that people love to ask is all kinds of things. So if we were going to like fill in the blank on who do you cheer for if you don't have a team this week?
Long-term commitment.
Okay, that's the question that we all receive somewhere along the line in our lives. So
Mhm.
talk to me about how the long-term commitment ties into Thanksgiving football.
When you get the long-term commitment question at the table, you can easily shift to the long-term commitment of the Lions and the Cowboys playing on Thanksgiving.
I mean, we already talked about them having phenomenal halftime performers, but then I mean, the Cowboys have played in on Thanksgiving since 1966 and have hosted a game like every year except for 2 years in the '70s, and the Lions have been at this since 1934.
Yeah, so find a longer commitment currently than that.
I I I can't really because
You
if
can't.
that commitment was 1934, like, they wouldn't be
Nope.
alive anymore, so
Nope.
likely.
So Lions and Cowboys are both very much alive and thriving. So they've remained committed to Thanksgiving more than anyone.
It's true. There's only 2 more teams that have played more than 30 times on Thanksgiving, and that's the Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers. Packers are obviously playing on Thanksgiving, and you know what I missed as we talk about the Bears?
Oh,
Before
yes.
we go in and talk about the Cowboys and the Lions and what kind of season they might be having, let's talk about the Bears who aren't playing on Thanksgiving, but have the tradition of playing a lot of games on Thanksgiving, and I totally missed this on the last one. Talk to me about their quarterback, Caleb Williams. He is known for his eccentric manicures.
Yeah, so we'll put a pin in Cowboys, and we'll circle back to that later. But we're
Yes,
gonna
please.
talk about Caleb Williams and his fingernail paint. Ever since college, he's been painting his fingernails. In college, it used to be, it would say F and possibly the team they were playing on his nails. But he's really expanded his horizons and used it for good.
Mhm.
And
So
I was gonna say in the past, he's, had, like, suicide prevention on his nails and then other messages that are impactful. So he's used it for style and, to create a positive narrative.
yeah, and I love that, and while grandma may not love men with painted fingernails, I know
Mhm.
when I paint the tiny human's fingernails, some people in my family will make fun of him. Not our family, but some people in my family will, and it's like, "Do what you gotta do, buddy. If that would make you happy, screw it. Have a good time."
Yeah,
So once again, Caleb, screw it, have a good time, but also love that you're using this for good and for positive messaging, because as a quarterback, your hands are in the shot on a game all the time.
a lot. So, a lot of close-ups.
It's very cool to see that he's used this platform for good when it comes to, manicures. So let's come
Shout out
back.
manicures in
Shout
cold
out to
weather.
manicures. I gotta go get one before I come to see you for
There
Thanksgiving.
you go.
Um, so let's come back to the Cowboys and the Lions and their long-term commitment in the NFL and having games for, 90 years or so, for the Lions. Are they having good seasons? Do we need to be paying attention to that? What's happening there?
Lions are having a strong season. They're perennial contenders in NFC. They've been on the verge of making the Super Bowl multiple times, and I think everyone would like to see Dan Campbell and Detroit kind of like an underdog feel good story, be successful. Hopefully, this is their year. And the Cowboys they're right around the middle of the pack. Incredible offense, defense not as great. So Dak Prescott having a great year.
Yeah. Well, okay, now fill me in, NFL also happening on Thanksgiving, and they're trying to make this a long-term commitment and a
Mhm.
tradition, is Black Friday football.
Black Friday football goes with the tradition of shopping on Amazon Prime with Black Friday sales. Now, while you shop, you can also watch some football. That's been the past few years, they've really tried to make it a big deal. And this year we have the Eagles and Bears. So there we go. Grandma might be fired up on Black Friday with some
Just shop it
fingernail
on
paint,
Amazon.
which will probably be a great deal on Amazon Prime while they play.
You know what we
So
have on our Amazon wish list? Olive and June paint that matches your team's colors, so make
there
sure
you
you tune
go.
into
So
that.
Caleb, we'll send you the link. You can buy some fingernail polish from us. That'd be great.
Yep, fantastic. So we have Black Friday football, and that leads me into, last year, that was the one with Beyoncé as a halftime. Obviously, you have to have an Amazon subscription for that.
Mhm.
But then that leads me into my last question. Thanksgiving day or night, whatever time you eat your meal, what's that go-to conversation starter around the table that will not offend anyone?
Inflation.
Okay, that Thanksgiving turkey did get more expensive. Talk to me about what that has to do with
The
sports.
turkey got more expensive. A lot of people are going to be talking about things more expensive. The sports shift that we've come up with, very smart of us, is the inflation in NBA injuries this season.
Okay, I know LeBron just came back,
Mhm.
to start his season. The he's the has the longest NBA career in history, but I know he was injured, but talk to me about I haven't been following enough to pay attention.
So the inflation in injuries is already apparent. NBA stars already missed over 200 games just this season alone combined, which is more than astronomically more than any other season
Oh
before.
my gosh.
So we've had a lot of big names that are hurt, currently not playing at all this season or out for a few weeks. So it's kind of something they're trying to deal with and figure out why.
Well, the season just started a month ago.
It did. And they have all these new partners like NBC, which they're flexing certain games into their prime time. And then the star players are hurt and they're not playing. Like Wembanyama, the very young French phenom, hurt. They flexed the game a few weeks ago to their prime time and he was hurt and didn't end up playing.
Yeah. Oh
So,
gosh. I don't think I realized that there was that many injuries happening, and you would think it's so early in the season, like,
mhm,
what are they all doing differently? Like, it's not just like it's one team that they have a really
mhm.
crappy trainer. Like, what are they all
It's,
doing differently?
yeah, it's the entire league. And I'm not really sure. We've got more technology and know more about the human body than ever before. Their travel is much better than it ever was with private planes and not playing back to backs and things. So it's kind of a interesting topic that you can shift towards. We've got a lot of Achilles tears,
Ooh.
so there's a rise in that as well. We had two stars, Jason Tatum and Tyrese Halliburton, tear them in the playoffs last year, so they're pretty much out the whole year. So there's a lot of medical things going on.
Do you think that are players older? No, probably not as a whole. So that's really interesting.
Yeah, I don't think age is necessarily the thing. I don't. And I mean, they've been playing their entire lives, so I mean, wear
Yep.
and tear.
Yeah, well, you're Wemby, you're only, what, probably 23 years old. You're only the
I
second
think
year
he's
in the
only
league?
19 or 20 at this point,
Right, so
barely.
he's really young, so that doesn't have anything to do with it either, but he is 7'2", so his body stretches in ways that mine doesn't, so
It does, and I don't know if that's to do with. Remember, we had the Olympics last summer, which means they played all summer and then kind of almost went right into the season. So that could have something to do with it as well, or just freak
interesting.
accidents,
Or just inflation.
or you could step off the stairs wrong and tear your Achilles. So
That's also
anything's
true.
possible.
Well, there's so much that happens on Thanksgiving, that, we do not have a chance to cover. The Salvation Army red kettles, which are always present, the
Mhm.
turducken, thank you, John Madden, the, turkey legs that go out to football players on Thanksgiving. I'm gonna wrap us with turkey or the sides?
Sides,
Sides, okay,
no question.
no question, okay, got it.
What about you?
I kinda like the turkey.
But if we
'Cause
just eat turkey plain with nothing on your plate,
well, like, if make it into a sandwich later or maybe gravy
okay.
or something, I don't know.
So the turkey needs friends to be tasty. So I'm like,
So, I mean, what are friends for?
tasty.
Well, thank you for sharing your brilliance of the world of sports. Of course, follow us on social. Last night's game will have you covered all during the Thanksgiving break with what's happening in the world of sports. So you have those little nuggets of conversation. And if you're watching on YouTube and you love my new hat, our Go Sports, you can catch that on our store at lastnightsgame.com. here in the next couple of weeks or so. Make a great Thanksgiving gift. No, make a great holiday gift to wrap your season with and start your new year feeling extra sporty. Scott, thanks for joining me.
Go sports.